I work front desk at a hotel in Amsterdam. An American checked in and studied our room key like it was a puzzle. How does this work? It was a regular key card. I said, you tap it on the door. He asked if there was an app. An app for the door? He got frustrated. In America, everything's digital. You use your phone, I explained we had key cards. He demanded a normal key, because what if the power goes out? I told him key cards work on battery backup. He didn't believe me. Asked if we had a YouTube tutorial, my colleague in Barcelona, that someone refused their hotel key because it looked suspicious. It was plastic. They wanted proof it was sanitized. She said they clean them. They asked for a sealed one. She said keys don't come sealed. They asked to speak to the manager about security protocols. These stories aren't unique. Americans have a gift for finding complexity in simplicity. And if you're the kind of person who sees the bigger pattern behind moments like this, you'll want to stay close because this is the level of clarity I pull apart every week. I'm a pharmacist in Berlin. An American needed aspirin. I pointed to the shelf. He stared. Which one? I said, any brand works. He took a photo of every box. Asked me to explain the differences. They're all aspirin. Same dosage. He insisted German aspirin must be different. European formulas aren't FDA approved. I explained the FDA doesn't regulate German medicine. He said that proved his point. No oversight. He wanted American aspirin. I said we don't stock that. He asked if I could order it. I said no. He left, then came back 20 minutes later with aspirin from 3 different pharmacies. Made me verify they were compatible. They were identical. He bought all 3 just in case. I run a laundromat in Oslo. American tourist came in with a suitcase. Asked which machine was for colors and which for whites. I said any machine, you choose the temperature. He looked betrayed. They're all the same? I nodded. He said that's inefficient. In America, we have specialized machines. I told him these do everything. He didn't trust it. Separated his laundry into 4 piles. Asked if we had different detergents for each. We had one detergent, universal. He asked if I was sure it worked on athletic materials. It's detergent. He used half the bottle on one load. Came back an hour later furious. His clothes were fine, but he'd expected them different. When I asked what he meant, he said European washing should feel European. He couldn't explain further. I sell tickets at Prague Central Station. An American wanted a train to Vienna. I sold him a ticket. He studied it for 5 minutes. Asked where the QR code was. I said it's printed. He asked how they scan it without a code. I explained the conductor checks the ticket. He seemed horrified. Manually. What if they lose track? I said they write it down. He asked what century we were in, if you'd catch insights in moments like this. The stuff most people scroll past. You're exactly who this channel is built for. Subscribe so these breakdowns find you instead of getting lost in the feed demanded a digital ticket. I said we don't offer that. He insisted I email him a PDF. I said the ticket in his hand was valid. He refused to believe paper tickets still worked. Asked if he needed to register it. I said no, just bored. He took a photo of the ticket and emailed it to himself as backup. Asked me to confirm his email copy was legally binding. I work at a market in Athens. American examined our olive oil for 10 minutes. Asked if it was real. Said yes, from Greece. He asked what made it Greek. I said it's made here from Greek olives. He squinted at the label. But how do I know? I pointed to the certification stamps. He photographed them. Asked if I could prove the olives were Greek. I said you can visit the groves. He asked for GPS coordinates. I laughed. He didn't. He wanted lab results proving authenticity. I said we don't do that. He claimed American olive oil was more regulated. I told him this oil was certified EU standard. He said the EU wasn't as strict as America. He bought it anyway, but said he'd test it at home. I have no idea how. I'm a barista in Stockholm. American ordered coffee. I made it. He tasted it. Looked confused. This is different. I asked what was wrong. He said it didn't taste American. I said it was coffee. He insisted American coffee was a specific thing. I asked if he meant weaker. He got defensive. Not weaker. Different beans. Different process, I explained. We use standard beans and espresso machines. He asked where the beans came from. I said Colombia. He said American coffee came from coffee regions. I said Colombia was a coffee region. He claimed American roasting was unique. Asked if we could make it the American way. I asked what that meant. He couldn't explain. Said he'd know it when he tasted it. I made another cup exactly the same. He said that one was closer. I work at a bakery in Lyon. American asked for sliced bread. We don't slice bread. I offered to slice it. He wanted it pre-sliced. I said I'd slice it right now. He said that wasn't the same. Pre-sliced is standardized. I told him I'd make it even. He didn't trust my cutting skills. Asked if we had a machine. We do, but I said we usually slice by hand. He looked horrified. Demanded machine-cut bread for consistency. I used the machine. He watched. Asked how often we calibrate it. I said never. He asked how we ensure uniform thickness. I said we don't measure. He requested the thickest and thinnest slices so he could compare. I gave him 2. He measured them with his fingers, declared a 2-millimeter difference unacceptable, and asked for a refund. I'm a museum guide in Copenhagen. An American joined my tour. Within minutes, he raised his hand. Asked if the Viking ship on display was authentic or replica. I said authentic. From 1080, he asked how we knew. I explained carbon dating and archaeological records. He asked if we had the original receipts. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. Wanted documentation proving the ship was really from 1000 AD. Said carbon dating was the documentation. He asked who certified the carbon dating. I said scientists. He asked if they were neutral third-party scientists. I said they were Danish historians. He claimed possible bias. Suggested we get American archaeologists to verify. I told him this was a UNESCO site. He asked if UNESCO was politically neutral. I had no answer. He spent the rest of the tour taking photos of information plaques to fact-check. Later, sometimes I wonder if Americans realize the rest of the world functions just fine. If you want this kind of perspective, consistently context, nuance, and the parts of culture most people never question lock in now, I'll keep tracking these patterns so you always stay one step ahead. We don't need apps for doors or standardized bread thickness. Our trains run on paper tickets. Our pharmacies sell aspirin without conspiracies. But maybe that's what happens when you're from a place that optimizes everything. You forget simple works. And honestly, I'm not sure I'd want to explain that. Let them measure their bread. I'll be here watching them discover that sometimes a key is just a key.